better serve the community? And then the influx of people then follows that energy.
Yeah.
So we tend to ask church questions, which are the wrong questions. But if we have to ask community and neighborhood questions, we actually get to the better answers. Any other questions? Yes?
How do you add an item on the strategic filter to help us be?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't wait to help you. I can't wait.
How do we add an item on the strategic filter to just allow us to be? And not do as much, right? And so, I mean, we haven't started writing a strategic filter yet, but we will make sure to work into that, something around being. Is this decision before us, one, to just keep us busy, keep our hands busy, or is this decision before us to help us deepen our own relationships of being with each other? That, off the top of my head, could be one of those questions. Yeah.
It's also related to whiteness and the dynamic of power. So when we start to unpack that, the colonizing way in which we engage as power or light, we're going to discover a whole new way of being. So that's going to be part of it as well. Any other questions? Yes?
This process of re-envisioning our future certainly has a bearing on how we select Pastor Steve's successor. That's a year down the road. We're in the midst right now of finding an interim pastor. Is that process completely decoupled, or are there considerable interactions that we ought to be recognizing in that?
I don't think we should answer that question. I think that Chris should answer that question. Come on up, guys.
No pressure.
From the start. But let me repeat the question, actually, because not everyone necessarily heard it. We're a little ways away from the pastoral search process, right? For the settled pastor. How does this affect the interim process? Was the question.
I keep standing up and talking. One of the things that we've been very careful to do from the start is to sort of infiltrate the process with people from the steering committee.
Yep.
So Mike Radke, who's, I don't think he's here today.
He had two compliments.
Today, is going to be chairing the search committee. And he has been a part of this process since day one. Julie, has been the vice moderator at church council, is moving on as a member of church council on the search committee. So we, in everything we're doing now, we're thinking process, strategic filter, where are we headed, and who do we need to include to make sure that we don't lose sight of this. We don't want another report on the shelf. We need to begin our activity right now. And so that's the best way we've been able to do it, is sort of grassroots, start here, who has the knowledge, and let's spread it.
Thank you, Chris.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Thank you, Chris. So it's essentially already begun to kind of be implemented, but just not in a super concrete way, perhaps.
Because we don't have all the answers.
Because we don't have all the answers yet.
To the extent that an interim pastor could perhaps help us make progress on broader objectives.
You want an interim who can move the process forward rather than put it back.
That's right.
And that has been part of every interview that we've conducted.
I bet it has.
Good.
Yeah. Any other?
All right, let's, we want to honor time. You have been here for
An hour.
just over an hour now.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for your participation. It has been an absolute joy in working with each of you, those on the team, and holding space for you. So, thank you so much for participating. It's been a joy. If you have any questions you do not want to ask publicly, would like to in private, we'll be up front and are available for that. And again, have a great rest of your afternoon.